top stories in this news edition. Hello and welcome to ETV News with the news. I'm Shamal Islam. The House of Federation stated that it is necessary to work hard for the unity and brotherhood of the people. The House organized a joint consultative forum for the neighboring regions of western and northern Ethiopia in Bahir Dar. Emmanuel Jorge presents the details.
A joint consultative forum of the neighboring regions of western and northern Ethiopia is being held in Bahir Dar with the theme Good Neighboring for Our Prosperity. Speaker of the House of Federation Adam Farah and heads of regional states are participating in the forum. Speaking on the occasion, Chief of the Amhara Regional State Agenyo Tashagar said, "We must work hard on our people's unity and brotherhood."
The people of Amhara and Tigray region are brothers. People of Tigray and Amhara are interlaced in culture, language and other aspects. They lived together in harmony for long years and contributed a lot in building a state government of Ethiopia. Today, I would like to thank Dr. Mulu Nagga and the interim administration of Tigray region for attending this forum after getting rid of the force that want an unfriendly relation of these two peoples. We have to work on strengthening our unity and brotherhood.
He added that the national consent and commendation over the law enforcement campaign is one of the manifestations of the brotherhood of the people of Ethiopia. The Speaker of the House of Federation, Adam Farah, for his part said the main purpose of federalism is to create one political and economic community, but it has been widely worked on preserving ethnic identity and neglecting social cohesion. He said that they should make Ethiopia to be home to brothers who stand together and prosper.
As it is clearly stated in the preface of the Ethiopian Constitution, the purpose of federalism is to build a united political and economic community. We can achieve this if and only if we could score approximate developmental speed all over the regions concerning peace, good governance and consolidation of democratic system. To do so, it requires a collaborated effort of regional states to strengthen the value of brotherhood between peoples and respective regions. Also working on making a lasting platform for regional governments to discuss, consult and support each other in the journey to prosperity.
Ministers, the Attorney General and regional high-ranking officials attended the forum.
Special Envoy of Ethiopia to the Sultanate of Oman, Ambassador Irorit Mohammed Yassin, has conferred with officials of economic free zones of the country. Ambassador Irorit Mohammed discussed with Chief Executive of Salalah Free Economic Zone, Ali Mohammed Tabuk, on trade and investment issues. She briefed the Chief Executive on the growing trade and investment opportunities in Ethiopia. Chief Executive Ali Mohammed Tabuk explained to Ambassador Irorit about working guidelines of free economic zones in the Sultanate and services and factories operating in the free zone. During the discussion, the two have agreed to solidify economic ties between their respective countries and forge cooperation in trade and investment areas. According to the Embassy of Ethiopia in Muscat, Ethiopian diplomatic community in the Sultanate of Oman have paid visits to several factories and manufacturing hubs in the free economic zones. Ministry of Women, Children and Youth Affairs called on democratic institutions to consider women's role in the upcoming 6th national election. The ministry organized a panel discussion that brought various stakes together overviewing the role of women in elections, keeping the 6th national election in mind. Kasahon Chane reports.
The Ministry of Women, Children and Youth Affairs has organised a panel discussion with various political parties, civil societies, also people's representatives and stakeholders took part intended to increase the participation of women in the upcoming 6th national election. Study proves that women make up only 20% of the political party in Ethiopia. The panel discussion under the theme Ensuring Women's Political Participation and Representation is aimed at increasing women's participation in the upcoming 6th national election. Opening the forum, State Minister of Women, Children and Youth Affairs Mona Ahmed said to sustain the change that has begun at the national level, political participation of women who make up half of the country's population must be increased.
Women should be empowered to make discussion by changing their perception of women at the community level. Women's participation in the House of People Representatives has reached 37.8% in the legislature and 40% in the state legislature. Political parties need to develop a participatory system to empower women in leadership and political participation.
The forum overviewed the study on women's leadership decision-making. It was also stated that women should be represented in the upper, middle and lower levels of leadership. The study explored the extent to which women are involved in the formation of political parties, adding that only 20% of women are involved in founding political parties.
The solution may be to increase participation in informative action and policy formulation. Currently, women's participation in the federal parliament has reached 60%. I suggest this participation should continue in the lower councils and the leadership positions.
Panelists further called on democratic institutions to consider women's role in the upcoming 6th national election.
President of the 26th Conference of the Parties on Climate Change, COP26, Alok Sharma, and Minister of the Ministry of Agriculture, Umar Hussein, discussed the ongoing Ethiopian Green Legacy Initiative. The two further explored ways to work together ahead of the Glasgow Climate Summit to be held in November 2021. Driving climate action through nature-based solutions is key COP26 priority, they agreed. Alok Sharma also discussed with Minister of Finance Ahmed Shide and the National Planning Commissioner Fitsuma Sefa on ways of delivering a green recovery. The COP26 summit will bring parties together to accelerate action towards the goals of the Paris Agreement and the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change.
This is Professor Hirut Oldemariam. I'm Ethiopia's candidate for African Union Education, Science, Technology and Innovation Commissioner position. I believe that there is no greater calling than serving the advancement of Africa in its aim to become peaceful, prosperous, integrated and globally influential continent. The Africa we want can only be realized through quality, relevant and inclusive education. And we Africans deserve a much higher quality of life. And science, technology and innovation is essential to ensure sustainable growth in the continent. And this is the way to realize the Africa we want. My parents were my pillars of strength. My father, who was a graduate of Addis Ababa University and a high school teacher of African geography and history, has been telling me all about the power of education. That has left an incredible impression on me regarding Pan-Africanism and African Renaissance since childhood. And my mother was a spiritual and always optimistic. And she gave me the strength and the inspiration to be fearless and to face any challenge in life. The greatest treasure that I inherited from my African parents was the passion to learn and to give back to Africa. And doing my PhD studies at the Institute of African Studies, University of Cologne in Germany. And that gave me the chance to engage with a number of colleagues from all over Africa. And that helped me, reinforcing my desire to serve at the continental level. My vision is to enable inclusive, relevant and high-quality education and a deep culture of innovation that will unleash the potential of Africa's youth for the continent's rightful and timely advancement as per Agenda 2063's aspiration. My vision is to unleash African minds and the indigenous knowledge of our ancestors so that poverty becomes a history of the past, to empower our youth, to convert society's problems into opportunity and innovation. The AUESTI, which I'm aspiring to lead, is a key center of transforming the continent into the global powerhouse of the future. Alsa University gave me the chance to exceed in the domain of leadership, in progressively increasing positions of responsibilities. In fact, I was the first female vice president and the first female full professor in the area of humanities and social sciences. Published about 3 dozens of peer-reviewed articles in international academic journals on a range of subjects. All those platforms have given me the visibility to be handpicked by government to serve as at a higher level of leadership. And in fact, I've served as a cabinet minister in 3 different ministerial portfolios. And currently, I'm serving as a Minister Social Sector Advisor to His Excellency Dr. Abiy Ahmed, the Prime Minister. I have a distinguished track record as a reformer in the Ethiopian science and higher education sector. I have initiated and implemented important reform in the curriculum of Ethiopian higher education. Also differentiation of higher education institutions by areas of specializations, providing a clear science policy of Ethiopia, and bringing women to leadership positions in higher education, and new regulations on public-private partnership in higher education and TVET, introduced digital literacy program as a community service, and green legacy of the Ethiopian higher education institutions, and more. We need African education that solves Africa's problems for the benefit of Africa. I call for a bold curriculum reform that will help the continent leaping into a knowledge economy. Education and skill development need to be quality and also relevant for the 21st century job market. And I reaffirm the need to allocate at least 1% of each country's GDP to research and development. I mean, investing in education and research is investing in our future. We need to have a strong Pan-African scholarship where the brightest of our high school graduates from across the continent assemble to receive a truly African education and with harmonized accreditation system and qualification standards so that we can realize the integrated Africa that we want. And forging equity beyond rhetoric, we need to act on gender equity and social equity in education, science, technology, and innovation. It will be my mission to serve as a golden link for the African Union to make Africa a stronger, united, resilient, and influential global player and partner. Vote for me.
Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has visited Prosthetics Production Center in Addis Ababa today. Goshu Melissa has more on that.
Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has visited the production of the Prosthetic Center for injured members of the National Defense Forces and civilians today. The Prosthetic Center at St. Paul Millennium Hospital has been delivering service for injured National Defense Force members and civilians over a century. Currently, the institution is providing artificial limb services for injured National Defense Forces during the law enforcement operation. Solomon Amara, who came from Britain, is participating in this volunteer activity.
The Ministry of Peace invited me to support the National Defense Force. I came from Britain with modern technology. The price of one item is estimated to be £5,000. I am committed to give free service to National Defence Force. Until now, I have identified 10 people. 10 of them will be beneficiaries in due process.
Currently, 18,000 artificial limbs and supporting instruments are being produced by the institute yearly, and a number of citizens are benefited.
You all Ethiopian citizens, please serve your nation ideally, financially, and do your level best. There is nothing more exciting than serving your nation. I came to Ethiopia leaving my family behind for free service.
Now, the long-served institution incurs shortage of inputs and human power. The institution's administrator says the PM's visit helps the institution to get due attention.
በአሁን ሰዓት እየሰራን ያለነው በነበረው ቀደም ሲል በነበረው ማቴሪያል በነበረው
Currently, we are working with the existing materials and the institution's limitation. I hope we will get support after the visit of our Prime Minister.
ከ91 ጀምሮ እስካሁን በዚህ ማዕከል ነው ሁሉም ነገር ማገኘው.
Since 1999, I am very grateful of this service.
The Premier noted that the efforts of volunteers and employees at the Prosthetic Production Institute are commendable.
The National Emergency Coordination Center Multi-Sectoral Response Ministerial Committee has held its regular meeting. The meeting reviewed the humanitarian assistance and rehabilitation processes in the northern part of the country, according to the Ministry of Peace. During the meeting, reports on the delivery and distribution of humanitarian assistance as well as the rehabilitation process were presented. The reports provided an overview of the ongoing humanitarian assistance and ongoing rehabilitation process in the region. Chairperson of the Ministerial Committee, Peace Minister Mufariat Kamil, gave directions for the continuation of speedy recovery or delivery of humanitarian assistance.
Policy Matters is a conversation platform which aims to provide reasoned analysis and context to the activities, reforms, and policies of the federal government of Ethiopia. Exploring various reforms the government is undertaking, the conversation platform aspires to enable nuanced and informed understanding.
Do we have what it takes to transition into a digital economy? What would you say are some of the initiatives the government has taken so that we're not left behind and that we are actually transitioning or transforming into a digital economy?
So for us as a country, moving to a digital economy and making ICT a priority sector, but also understanding the role that digital can have on our national priorities is a necessity, not only to have new sources of growth, but for survival.
You know, how are institutions being empowered, be it at the Walada level, regional level, or federal level, to transform themselves to be digitally enabled institutions?
Mindset is important. We need to build a culture of innovation. We need to build a culture of experimentation. It's all about being able to work together. It's about coordination. It's about collaboration. It's really important to be able to break those silences because we need to have data flowing.
You're watching ETV News, now looking at an international news item. Lawmakers have voted to remove Prime Minister Sylvia